Chelsea returned to Premier League action after the international break with a trip to Bournemouth on Super Sunday. Our reporter Gary Cottrell was at the Mauricio Pochettino press conference a little earlier on. As you can see, he joins us live right now. Gary, let's start off with a bit of injury news for one of Chelsea's big summer signings. Tell us what's the latest on Romeo Lavia.
Yeah, the injury list is big at Chelsea. If we're going to be fair to them and to Mauricio Pochettino and to the players, this average, I guess you could call it, if you're being fair, start to the Premier League campaign, not the kind of start that anyone associated with Chelsea would have wanted. Some of that can be put down to this injury list. 8 senior players out injured. Now make that 9 because of Lavia. He didn't go on international duty as one of less than half a dozen players who stayed here at the Cobham training ground, and he was training well. Mauricio Pochettino said he was in line for a start against Bournemouth on Sunday. Then he twisted his ankle, picked up quite a nasty ankle injury in training, and it's a real disappointment for Mauricio Pochettino. The period out has been mentioned as 6 weeks, but Pochettino says he hasn't got a date for his return yet.
Yes, I think we are really disappointed because I think he was training really well last week in the international break, and he twisted his ankle, and now we are waiting for Monday to the assessment for the doctor. Hope that is not a big issue, but in the last week cannot training with the team. It's a real shame because it's a real it's a sad situation because he was nearly fit to be involved again with the team. And yes, now we need to wait the assessment and hope that it's not a big issue for him and for the team, of course, that he cannot help the team.
Gary, Chelsea have only picked up 1 win so far this season. That was against Luton. And should they lose at Bournemouth on Super Sunday, it'd be their worst top-flight start since 1986-87. Are there many concerns about their form?
Do you know what? Mauricio Pochettino doesn't look to me to be concerned in the slightest. He cut a very happy figure down at the training ground today. We were allowed to film the first bit of training, and we saw him coming out, greeting and having photographs taken and giving autographs to some competition winners and some children who were also allowed to watch training. He came over to me smiling. He talked about having had a couple of days away with his family in Barcelona. He told me that the sun was out. I was getting ready. Did I want to borrow some sun cream? If I did, go to his office and get his. So he really doesn't look worried at all. And he said that in the news conference. He spoke about how he believes the team deserved more points based on their performances. Of course, they just can't put the ball in the net. It's the same old problem this season as last season so far for Chelsea, isn't it? He says that for sure, Chelsea will be in European competition next season. That's how confident he is. He said he's seen the quality to make him think that. He did use one word, though, quite interestingly. He said naughtier. He says this team need to be naughtier. They need to be more aggressive. They need to compete more. But he does believe that all that will come.
When you analyze the 5 games that we play from the beginning of the season, I think we fully deserve to win, but we didn't win for different details and circumstance. But in all the process, when you are building a team, that happens, and you need to be really, really perfect in your performance. It's only a matter of time. We have a very good player, very good squad. The circumstances are the circumstance. We are in a situation that maybe we need to accept that, but we cannot be worried. Only we need to be focusing to try to develop and support the player, because for sure they are going to perform with time.
Just run through the rest of the injury news quickly ahead of that first part of Super Sunday, that game at Bournemouth on Sunday. Broja and Badiashile, there was some speculation they could be involved even on the bench in that game. Poch says no, it's still too soon for them, even though they are back in partial training. Enzo and Caicedo, obviously important to the midfield, who've played their international football in South America, only trained for the first time after a long journey back today. He does believe, good news for Chelsea fans, that they will both be involved in that game against Bournemouth. And an update on Reece James. He believes that he'll be playing again before the international break. Of course not at Bournemouth, but that's not too far away for the captain and one of their top players.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much indeed.